Welcome to the closing video. Get my camera straight here for season 340 of the ukulele, Doc and Merle. And as always, I really am touched and I greatly appreciate everybody who participated in any fashion in this season, whether it was to make entries, to comment on other people's entries, or just to watch and enjoy the wonderful music we saw this week. I'm also very happy that I decided to expand the theme slightly and say not just Doc and Merle Watson, or not just Doc Watson and Merle Haggard, but any Doc or Merle, or songs inspired by themes that you would think about with Doc and Merle. That will come into play later. There were, if my count is correct, 32 Seasonistas who posted 74 entries, and that's not counting your host video entries here. The breakdown was very interesting. If my counting is correct here, got the most songs by Doc Watson. That was 23, if I'm correct. Merle Haggard came in second place with 19, but Doc Thomas got into double digits with 11. Merle Travis almost hit it with 8. We only had one Merle Kilgore number, which was surprising to me, in part because Nobody Did I Walk the Line, which he wrote with June Carter Cash. We also got some other Docs, which is great too. We got Doc Neeson, we got Doc Boggs, we got Doc Bagby, thanks to Bev. We got the Doc Severinsen even once, as was mentioned. So that's really cool. The other thing that I like about the fact that we expanded this theme a bit was because we got some. So we got one of the Merle Travis entries was the very fine version of 16 Tons by Jeff, and so that was, as I say, again, had we just limited it to Doc Watson and Merle Watson, or Doc Watson and Merle Haggard, that we wouldn't have gotten that wonderful entry. I'm going to point out before I name the winners, because there will be some winners this week based, for the first time, based on special merit, as I will call it, because everybody was wonderful as always, and I just appreciate what everybody does here. If I haven't said this before, the real winners in all these weeks are the hosts, I think, because we get to see all of you produce such wonderful, passionate, sometimes humorous, always thoughtful and creative and inventive ways of interpreting this music. And it's just, as I say, it's just always so touching to see everyone's effort and everyone's participation. And so I'm gonna call out some folks here before I name the winners, and this is not meaning to slight anyone, but these were just people who jumped out at me. Cloverdale Kid for all of his work, but especially for doing Big City, because that's one of my favorite Haggard songs, and the backstory behind that is one of my favorites as well, and that he shared the writing credit with his bus driver, who was basically ticked off at being stuck in LA traffic, and so and the bus driver, I think, ended up retiring off of the songwriting royalties he got from that. So that's just one of my favorite Haggard tunes for a number of reasons. To Trent, as always, just for the great good humor he has in what he does, the enjoyment he gets out of it, the joy he shows, and the fact that he shared Raina with us on one song, which, having a dog who also gets really, really spooked whenever we have loud noises, I appreciate that very much. Rob, as always, again, you just really take music in such different directions, and I love both your original about the current occupant, if you will, but also the ways that you handled the different songs and did them. Always just such a delight. Pa, I mean, what can you say about the wonderful tenderness and passion and great chops he always brings to every week, plus all the wonderful work he does keeping this train patched together with duct tape and baling wire and whatever else it takes to make this thing work. So thanks for that. Others. I mean, Lil Ev, the harp on "Sitting on Top of the World" was just fantastic. Thanks Evelyn for that, and also a shout out to Ralph. Only You Matters, just for not only this beautiful version of "Last Thing on My Mind," but also for linking to the Doc Watson, Dolly Parton rehearsal of that before they performed it at Merlefest. Because for one thing, the folks in our youth jam really wanted to hear that, and I'm going to share that on our Facebook page because they really wanted to hear that in action. So that's great. And I mean, there are others on Demi Mondaine. I got to say for her Cannery Row suite of songs. Thank you very much for including them in this season. There's just so many, and I can't get them all, and so I just apologize for those that I didn't talk about. It's time to talk about the people who who with whom I'm going to make special mention. The special mention number was the number one, the performance winner for the week is going to be Alan DP for everything he did, the entire body of work, because not only was everything played well, it was sung beautifully, and it was just there was just not anything close to it. He had everyone out of the park and put them in the upper deck, and so Alan, for that, you're going to get a Doc Watson CD, and in fact, this is the cover image. This is something that was recently released by Yep Rock Records in Hillsborough, North Carolina. Great, primarily Americana label, but they got some old recordings of Doc back in 1963. Some live recordings have they put out, and that's actually on order for me and for you because I got one for myself. And I will be sending that to you if you will please PM your coordinates to me. I may have them, but in case I don't, please do that. Secondly, the other performance winner is Chris Cross for the fantastic self-accompaniments he did instrumentally on I think it was 6 numbers that you did. Anyway, that, as I say, all those were just terrific, and they were beautiful, and I could easily see them going in a collection of instrumental music done in duet form, and that's great. And I'm just so pleased you did that, and I really appreciate that a lot. And so for that, you will get, of course, a Raleigh Uke Jam T-shirt. So if you will please PM me not only with your terrestrial coordinates, but also with what shirt size you wear, because we do all these up separately. Our Fearless Leader's lovely spouse does the screening, and we provide the shirts, and I'll be happy to send that along. And then penultimately, special mention to the truly most moving performance of the week, and that was Sparky's song for her dad. And if you haven't seen it, if you haven't saved it to your favorites, whatever, you've really missed out on something. It's just a gorgeous, gorgeous, touching, wonderful, beautiful song. And for that, also, Sparky, you're going to get a Raleigh Uke Jam shirt yourself as well. So again, please send me coordinates and shirt size, and we will get that off. I'll get that off to you as soon as those are ready to roll. And again, I mean, that was something that just absolutely was stunning, and everybody really ought to watch that again, listen to it again, and enjoy it. It's just beautiful. Now, there's an extra special prize here because I was not as organized as I am even now when I was doing the initial video. I was going to say there would be a special prize for the first person to play a song that is tangentially related to this theme. But instead, the first person who posts on the thread and mentions the song I'm thinking about and the group performed will get an extra special prize. It's probably going to be a sticker or poster or something like that, but nonetheless, or maybe a few stickers. Anyway, one of the greatest rock and roll bands in the world did an unusual album fairly, or an unusual for them album fairly early in their career. And one of the songs, which is one of my favorite songs that group did, even though it's not as well known as many others, mentions Merle. And if you happen to pick the band, the song, and the mention of Merle, then I will send you a special prize. But just think about that, and if you don't do it soon, then this offer will expire September 15, let's say. Okay. Anyway, nonetheless, it's not a huge prize. But nonetheless, it's just fun because I forgot to include it in the original video. Again, everybody, thank you so much for all you do to make this such a great part of the ukulele world and such a fun part of my life, and I hope others as well. And just keep on strumming, and we will see you on the flip side. Thank you very much.